Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
At first, we hit your gadgets with our state-of-the-art digitalized mobile studio with the debate on the road behind the wheels. Later, we launched our magnificent studios located on Plot 1A, Sawagude Close, Lukulinanganda, Machindye, Kampala, where we bring to you our must-watch shows like The Mighty Drive, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m., Hotline, Mondays, 7 p.m. As for legal matters, Twins at Bar, Tuesdays, 11 a.m. Wednesdays, 6 p.m. is Afro-Caribbean Link, where we connect Africa with the Caribbean. Voltage on Thursdays, 7 p.m., featuring a youthful panel. Interface with Dr. Kiiza Besije every Friday, 12 p.m. with his call to action against injustices. Snap Talk, Saturdays, 6 p.m. with the trio. A must-watch, The Political Dice, Sundays, 8 p.m. with the duo that never stammers, and so much more. Watch us live on all our social media platforms. We are the Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Hey Teddy, have you noticed how little attention science and health issues get in the media?
Totally, Edgar, yet science information is very important.
Yeah, for sure. That's why the Health Journalists Network is here.
How can they help?
They are a group of journalists dedicated to advancing public understanding of healthcare issues through impactful reporting on health and science.
Oh, really?
Yes, they meet up every month with scientists and researchers, policymakers, and activists at the science media cafes. They then relay what they discuss to the public.
Does that benefit us?
Oh yes, very much so. This helps with health and science literacy for a healthy Ugandan society.
Okay. I love getting informed about science and health issues. Health information makes all the difference between life and death. I'll look them up and engage them.
That's great. They are based all over the country.
Oh, okay. That's interesting, and they should be making real impact.
They are empowering health communities through journalism. Journalists can save lives just like doctors.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Good evening, Uganda. Welcome to Face the Nation. My name is Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. This particular show is a show that happens every Friday in the evening at exactly 5 p.m. And we are having a candid conversations with different stakeholders in this country. We believe that having these conversations will not only bring about a better Uganda, but will also foster conversations that will, at the end of the day, make Uganda a better place. For the first episode, we have Honorable Winnie Kiiza Nyabahasa. This woman is a wife, a mother, a former leader of opposition in Parliament, in fact, the first female leader of opposition in Uganda. She is also a former member of Parliament for Kasese District. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Honorable Winnie Kiiza. You're most welcome.
Thank you, Karuhanga.
How are you?
I'm fine.
That's
And
good
greetings to the viewers of the Mighty Digitalk. It's an honor for me to be here after some time, but I believe all is well.
All is excellent,
Yeah.
right here with us. Let's delve into the conversation. How is Kasese? And as you tell us how you people are, paint a picture for some of the achievements that you registered over the time when you are in Parliament, and how the state of Kasese District is today, and remembering that NRM is now taking a lion's share in that particular district.
I will say that the state of the district is not any different from how it was. If anything, it may be getting worse in terms of economics. We can only say, well, it's looking beautiful. The district, the municipality, Kasese municipality under the able leadership of Kahindo Chas.
Yes.
And we want to thank him for leading the municipality very well. But by and large, the population is still very poor.
Okay.
There is, you were asking me about achievements for me while I was in Parliament.
Yes, please.
The one thing that I wanted to work on most and that I worked on are issues to do with justice, issues to do with human rights, issues to do with women issues and children. I worked on issues of unity,
Yes.
to the extent that I had a full tournament, a sport for peace and unity. It was a yearly tournament, and I'm sure it is an issue that brought the people of Kasese together. I handled the issue of education.
Yes.
Because I know that the battles in the Rwenzoris, most especially one of the reasons why our forefathers wanted to deliberate themselves from the Toro Kingdom, one of the core issues why the Bakonzo and the Bamba wanted to move from Toro Kingdom was denial for education.
Yeah.
So it was an issue. And I remember in 1982, when His Majesty, the Omusinga of Singawa Rwenzururu, was negotiating peace with the government of Uganda and descended from the mountains, one of the key commands that he gave, I was a child then, but I was at that function at Senyi Catholic Church. One of the issues that he talked about and that touched my heart was that the battle of spears and arrows is over. The battle that is now beginning is the battle of a book and a pen.
Oh, okay.
And so I knew that he was calling upon his people to embrace education, and that it would be the next key that would take them to wherever they want to go, that would open doors to success, that would open doors to a transformed Rwenzururu kingdom.
Yes.
And I took it very seriously as a child. So when I went into leadership, I knew that was one of the issues as a believer in the cultural institution, as a support and loyal member of Rwenzururu Kingdom.
Yes.
I knew that I had to take this command very seriously, and so I started the Winnie Kiiza Scholarship.
Wow.
So the scholarship, I'm proud to say, has educated over 70 people from Kasese district, some of whom are now at master's level, others are now starting PhDs, others are still in high school, and I'm so proud that these young people are amazing and are doing amazingly well. So it is one of the things that I really find very exciting that I participated in doing. I participated in ensuring that the kingdom commits itself, and it was His Majesty himself who committed himself to signing that never again shall there be child marriages under his kingdom. Yeah. We had a culture, the Bakonzo culture, where a young girl is married off at an early age and would have no problem.
Yeah.
So kind of, when I'm still young, my parents can even determine that I will marry in home X.
Book.
Yes.
Someone has booked you already.
They have booked you because marriages were very serious. They were considered a very serious matter, that parents would look at backgrounds of the families and they say, you know, because we know that these families don't have certain sicknesses, they are not witches, they are not thieves, they are not what, our son must marry from that family. And the parents would be friends.
Yes.
So maybe when a girl is growing up, they would even take her to the family where they think she will get married to go and grow up from there.
Wow.
To the extent that even at an age of 12, you would be taken to a family, you are nurtured and groomed in that family. Maybe at 14 or 15, you are given to a man to marry you. Oh. So it is a culture that was going on, and you know, some of these cultural norms are hard to break.
Yes.
But when the king himself signed, and that was in 2011, he signed and said, we shall not allow anybody to marry a girl who is of underage. I looked at it as an achievement.
That's a very great achievement.
And well, while we still have child mothers in the district, but this is against the law.
Yes.
One, the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, but at the same time, the Constitution of the cultural institution. And after that signing, then people are required to have a certificate from the cultural institution
before getting married.
Before getting married, indicating that you are taking someone who is of age, and the cultural institution confirms
that it's true.
That it's true. They have assessed the child is of age.
That's
so while people are still defiling and they are having child marriages, they are actually out of the known norms and practices that are culturally acceptable to the Bakonzo community. However, I attribute all these to the levels of poverty that we have, the low level, the high levels of poverty in the region. The other issue that I think I still feel proud about is that as a member of parliament, I represented my people with dignity. I didn't let them down. Where they needed me, I was available. Where their voice was required in parliament, I put it there. And I want to thank them for having trusted me. For the 15 years I was a member of parliament, and for the 8 years I was working as their district councillor. And so I enjoyed their support. I enjoyed the relationship that we had as a community, where we were working as a team. And even when I know that not all of them were members of the opposition, but the trust that I enjoyed across the board is one that I don't take for granted.
Great. And they did not even need to kick you out. At least you left as a choice. So
yes, I decided to, because I respected their choices as well. And I knew that it was an issue that I had been talking about. That it's not healthy for leaders to overstay in power. I am of the same opinion that it's not healthy for leaders to overstay in power, and I speak to the President of the Republic of Uganda. It's not healthy for leaders to overstay, because I know that when he came to power, he also said the biggest problem of Africa is not poverty, is not what, but leaders who overstay in power. And he even equated them to swine.
Now
so I don't know what he calls himself now.
He says without the mandate of the people. But let's delve into also the issue of the kingdom. How is the hangover from the 2016 massacre? And this comes at a time when they asked for amnesty, or they received amnesty, which literally means, for my viewer, that they plead guilty of the cases that were put on them. So many of them were released, starting from the king himself, Omusinga Wesley Mumbere. So I want to delve on that particular question. How is it right now? And this culture of accepting cases, also as you paint a picture of the NUP.
You know, it is so sad that we are developing a culture that is condoning impunity.
Okay.
Someone arrests people illegally, keeps them for years, and then asks them to beg for an excuse, to plead guilty for issues that they really did not commit.
Or they finally accepted that they committed those particular
What
issues.
do you expect of a man who is on gunpoint? You are either killed or you say, I committed a mistake. Now, let me take you to the issues of the people of Rwenzururu Kingdom, for example, before I come to my colleagues of the National Unity Platform. It is on record that government of Uganda sent killers to the cultural institution. Elweru himself is on record, said, yes, I did a job that my commander-in-chief told me to go and do. What was the job? Of killing people. Now, the people who were killed are now the ones told to ask for forgiveness, to plead guilty. Do they plead guilty for having been killed, or they are pleading guilty for killing themselves?
But they wouldn't be killed without a basis. There was a basis. Please paint a picture.
If there was a basis, you know, there is also some level of stupidity that we have been subjecting ourselves to. How do they say you plead guilty even before the case is heard? These people have spent over 7 years in jail. They have never been heard. They have never appeared before any court of law. Their cases summarily heard at night, and they say plead guilty. Remember, the 200 plus who were in jail, 12 of them had died in jail.
Yes.
These are citizens who were subjected to torture on arrest. They saw their colleagues being killed mercilessly. And every other day they were being told, your case is against the state. You can't fight the state and win. You either accept to be forgiven. Just have to beg for mercy from His Excellency. Begging for mercy from the one who killed them. I want to say, forgive me, don't kill me. 7 years, they couldn't move.
Yes.
The king was not allowed even to go and bury his own mother. He was not allowed to see anyone. The men and women who were in prison, remember, the women were dehumanized.
Yes.
Moved all the way from Kasese to Jinja, naked.
Naked. Yeah.
You remember those sites?
I remember those.
Who is supposed to apologize to who? The mothers of the nation. You undress them, move them naked, parade them naked. And then after 7 years in prison, unheard. And you say, ask for mercy.
Same case in UP. 4
Now,
years.
after 4 years in jail, the NUP people, the mistake they made was that they tried to exercise their constitutional right. They exercised their constitutional right of saying you have a right to belong to a political party. You have a right to converse for elections. You arrest them, take them to jail, and you trump up charges against them, and you say you must plead guilty. It is so unfortunate, and if we don't find a way of stopping this, it is going to keep happening.
But this
it
has,
is going to keep happening.
there are injustices that are hovering over this nation for a while. You paint a picture of the NUP. Remember the people who were massacred in Kampala.
Yes.
Up to today, nobody has been charged. These are things that have happened in Tesoland, they have happened in Kasese, it has happened in Uganda.
It has happened in Uganda before and in northern
yes.
Uganda.
So where is the soul of Uganda as we speak about these issues? Because it is business as usual. We continue, and yes, they've died. Business as usual.
You know, you may think it is business as usual. That is how you radicalize people.
Oh, okay.
The children who saw how their fathers were being treated at the palace, the young people whose mothers were undressed, the wives who spent 7 years, and husbands who spent 7 years without their spouses, only to be told that your spouse has pleaded guilty to mistakes that they never committed. I can tell you, not all the 200, by the way, were arrested from the palace. Others were arrested from markets. Others were border cyclists. Others were people who had their problems maybe with the LOC or with the cadres of NRM, and they just say, come and arrest this one. He's also a royal guard.
Wow.
Issues degenerated to that level. The people who were in cells, others were arrested from Bundibujo, others were arrested from Ntoroko, others were arrested from Kasese, others were arrested from Bunyangabo. But all of them had a similar charge. Well, where they had treason, they had terrorism, they had murder, they had theft, that they were thieves. They stole a mattress, they stole a file from some health center. So the 200 plus people collected from all over those districts went and stole a mattress and a file from one of the health centers in Kasese. The over 200 people who were arrested, they killed a police officer in Chidodo with one gun.
All the 200 people.
All the 200 people from the different locations. Well, for the treason, that one they might coordinate from wherever they are.
Yes.
Maybe even the terrorism. But to say they are thieves. They murdered one person from the different locations, but they come and murder one person, the 200, and this group moves at a go. You know, Really, there are issues you look at and you say, are we still having a government worth being called a government? The same thing with our colleagues in the National Unity Platform who were arrested. Arrest them from different locations, and then you put them under the same charge. Accept that you are the ones who did what? Who killed the police officers. You are the ones who are attacking police stations. You break people's souls, you break their hearts, you break their dignity, you just make them look stupid. And they say, if we can only get relief from here.
And just get out.
And just get out. If this is what it means to get my freedom, I would rather accept.
Okay.
So you find people accepting mistakes that they never committed. And one of the reasons why they have forced these people to accept these cases is that President Museveni wants to remain a clean man. He doesn't want to be associated with the murders that he has committed. He doesn't want to be associated with the murders that he has committed.
Because it will be on record that
it
they
is on record, but it is on record. Everybody knows that he has killed people. Government accepted to having killed 54 people in Kampala in 2020. Government accepted through Elweru to have murdered people in the Rwenzururu kingdom.
Yes.
No amount of manyanga, whether forcing people to accept that they killed, when it is in black and white that you killed, you will never take it away from the hearts of Ugandans. And you will never take it away from the hearts of all right-thinking people wherever they are, because it is on record, it is seen. The documentary is very clear of the killings that happened in Kampala.
Yes.
The documentary is very clear on how these Noop brothers and sisters were arrested. They weren't found in the bush. They were doing a noble cause. We were in a campaign period. Everybody was free to go out there and campaign. They had to only wait for them when they are going to a rally to arrest them.
Thank you so much. You're still watching Face the Nation.
Because even for the same for the Rwenzururu massacres, where they killed the people from, it's not a bush. It's a palace that is in town, in the center of Kasese town. It is not even on a square mile. It is on just 1 acre. So how do people plan terrorism, treason, and they are seated on 1 acre in a town that is guarded by your own soldiers, soldiers that you yourself trained?
Let's go to Parliament.
Then the terrorist must be the president and his people who trained the soldiers who were keeping the king.
You see, the victors of the war, the one who determines how history is written. So someone will call people whatever they want to call them. But let's delve into
anyway,
Parliament.
time will come and we shall see these tables turning.
Okay. This lady is called Honorable Winnie Kiiza. She is a former member of Parliament for Kasese District and also a former leader of opposition. And you're still watching Face the Nation right here on Digitalk TV. Let's delve into Parliament. The National Coffee Amendment Bill has been passed. It has been contentious. Many people trying to refuse the merger of the UCDA with the Ministry of Agriculture. What is your take on this particular bill that has been passed? In fact, let me call it an act, even though the president has not yet assented to it.
Well, I know that the president wanted this bill passed. It is favoring him. It's not favoring the Ugandans.
Favoring Ugandans.
It is favoring him. Because where he reaches an extent of saying, Awaja to Tabla, we shall do other ways.
Says you are criminals, you called them criminals.
These criminals, and you know, Ugandans know the far they have come from. One thing that hurts me is that President Museveni killed the system that Ugandans were using to get money. We had cooperative societies and unions, which he killed when he became president. We had a coffee marketing board that was doing the work of UCDA, and farmers were not complaining. He killed it when he came. We had a produce marketing board, which was making sure that the farmers who are involved in beans, nuts, sorghum, and rice can get money so that their cultivation is not ending in vain. You know, when he comes to say we are coming up with the parish development model, we don't want you to kulisa echidachonga, kolera echidachonga. We had these boards that were supporting the farmers and enabling them to really transform everything that is produced in terms of agriculture into cash. We were a cotton growing country,
Yes.
to the extent that we even had textile industries. We had the Nyanza textile industry, we had the Lira spinning mill, we had the Murko in Mbale, in Jinja. In Mbale there was also a textile industry. By the time Museveni closed our textile industries,
Yes.
Uganda's cotton, 400,000 bags of cotton were being consumed by our own industries, at least around 80%. 85% of our cotton was being consumed locally. It was only 15% that was being exported outside.
Wow.
Instead of building on that, he first killed the
He said
economy.
he defended that issue and said in that time, at that moment, that is what needed to be done because Uganda was recovering from war, from Amin.
So when
and
you are
all these
recovering
particular
from war, you
issues,
demolish even the small things that you have that bring in cash.
you can rebuild again. And
Now,
that is
so
what
how did he rebuild?
By introducing UCDA.
Now, he introduced the
And he started-
UCDA. After 30 years, he's telling us UCDA is doing nothing.
Yes, he says now he has realized that we need to
After
save
30
more money.
years. If he is talking about saving money, why is he appointing RDCs, presidential advisors, assistant RDCs, deputy RDCs, creating more districts,
To him, those are the
creating more
priorities, I
structures? Those are cost centers. They are eating more money than UCDA was eating. By the way, even if UCDA was eating money, at least it is helping the ordinary citizen to put money into the pocket.
Okay, but generally this is...
The only thing I know is that President Museveni doesn't want Ugandans to have money in their pockets,
he has-
so that they keep begging from him.
You see-
He knows that an impoverished society is easy to manipulate.
And that is something you have always said as opposition players, that Museveni is intentionally making people poor. But this is, in a grand scheme, it's not about UCOFI alone.
Yes.
They have also put UNRWA in the Ministry of Works. It's about rationalization generally of all government
Now,
agencies.
let me tell you, if it is rationalization of all government agencies,
Yes, please.
people have told you, and even citizens themselves are saying, UNRWA, let it go. It can be managed by the ministry. But UCDA touches the ordinary person down there. Because to them, you know, the issue started with the counting of those who are dealing in coffee. The coffee farmers register. They even went ahead to say we are closing some factories that are in the population. There are so many investors, some local, some foreign, who were dealing in coffee in the coffee growing areas. Do you know they were threatening to close those factories? Because these factories are dealing with the farmers directly. Before we knew it, it was the time when he was preparing for Pineti.
Yeah.
And he was saying Pineti is going to be the sole purchaser of
course.
coffee.
Yes, I remember that time.
Now, how do you monopolize trade in an economy that you have said is free?
Sugar is being monopolized in
He
Eastern
has
Uganda.
also monopolized the sugar,
Yeah, sugar
in
cane.
eastern
Yeah,
Uganda,
yeah.
where he was saying now, if from this test to this test,
You have to
people
sell to this
you
one.
have to sell to this one.
Yeah.
But this is a free economy. You liberalize the economy and you still want to bring a monopoly.
Do
How
you just
do
have
those two-
mistrust?
It is not
because
but
there's no basis for you to disagree as
not
well.
that there is no basis. If he's doing it for the good of the people and the people are saying no and he insists, planning is supposed to be from bottom to top.
Up approach, yes.
It is a bottom-up approach.
Yes.
That is why we even have the parish, the village development committees, the parish development committees, and that is even the basis on which he did the parish development model. So that development begins from below. Now, the people are saying no. For us, we are feeling that UCDA is doing a great
And
job.
he says I'm the one who brought UCDA.
Now, he brought it for the Ugandans, and the Ugandans are saying, congratulations, President Museveni. Why should you then say, no, since it is me who brought it, I now want to dismantle it? That is why I would say it is not an issue of mistrust. It is an issue of being selfish. He has a self-interest.
So if everybody in every agency is refusing to merge, so how are we going to...
It
to
is
do
not
the
UCDA, by the way,
rationalization?
UCDA has not refused.
The
If
beneficiaries.
the beneficiaries of the good work of UCD are the ones who are saying, you brought us a good thing, we don't want you to take it
And he's saying
away.
it's going to be better in the ministry.
That is where we started from. By the time he created UCDA, he had seen a problem.
Okay.
And he said, we must sort this problem.
Okay, then comment on...
If it has been a problem and he was watching it for 30 years, he had never come out to say, UCDA, you are doing a wrong thing. We as citizens have never been asked to evaluate the performance of UCDA. It is at this time that you are telling the president that UCDA has been doing a good job. Okay. It is reaching the common person. We are being enabled to earn money. At least you can go to the villages and you find that at least the growers of coffee are earning some money.
Mr. Museveni is not doing this in a bubble. He's working through Parliament. Comment on the Parliament itself that is passing such bills that you say the wananchi don't want, but the Parliament is passing them.
You know,
with the Speaker herself.
First look at the beginning before Museveni entered into the matter. The issue was a bipartisan issue. Members of NRM, members of the opposition, cultural institutions, concerned citizens, all came up and said, Your Excellency, the other entities you can merge, but for UCDA, leave it to the people. If he was a people-centered president, he would for once have listened to the people. Now, when the president came up in arms and called the people terrorists, called them detractors, called them enemies of the state, what were you expecting of his members of parliament? He had to take them for drilling and grilling. In a meeting where some other MPs whom he knew, you didn't hear of an MP whom they said, for you have COVID. Honorable Museveni. They told him, you have COVID, you can't enter this meeting.
Or maybe he had COVID, but let's continue.
Now, if we are going to also politicize sicknesses, and we start using them, that's how they used COVID against the members of the opposition.
Is pretending.
Now, they are even saying Zake is pretending, but the issue is, everybody knows that this country, yes, had coffee from the word go, as a coffee, I mean as a cash crop. All of us grew up knowing that we have coffee and cotton as cash crops. Along the way, we now knew we had the Produce Marketing Board, which was assisting us to have market for our beans, for our maize, for our other produce.
Yes, please.
Even amongst the Banyankore, they had these cooperative unions.
Exactly.
We had a dairy corporation,
which
was handling the milk aspect and the dairy products to make sure that the economy is booming.
And
I can tell you that yes, Ugandans were booming until Museveni came up with his policies that he's going back to the Obota, and I mean policies that were in place, and it is that problem that is now coming to Parliament. He just wants to use...
How about the Speaker herself?
He just wants to use Parliament.
The Speaker, we've had her make remarks on Baganda. It's like this is an extension of Mr. Museveni, and the Speaker is not hiding it in any way. Comment on the Speaker herself.
I am telling you that many of those in President Museveni's government work for the interests of Museveni. And we thought that President Museveni for us would want to leave the legislature to work as an independent authority. This brings us to the aspect, you have been asking me about Parliament. It is not only Parliament that is under capture. All institutions of the state have been captured. Parliament is not spared as well. So you go to the judiciary, they will all wait to hear from the president. You go to the legislature, it is all waiting to hear from the president. I saw my colleagues from the NRM at the beginning trying to raise some dust. And this is not new. During the amendment to the Constitution, many colleagues from the ruling government were saying no. Tojikwatako, yes.
2017.
Many of them said we are going to defend the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. Until at the last moment when I saw them dildaling and telling me, Winnie, no, we have been whipped. The president has said they are going to fight us in our constituencies.
Yes,
it is the same thing that happened. You see the same thing happening. We sing money into Lubowa. If president wants to cut costs, there is too much money that they are giving to Lubowa.
Yes.
And Lubowa is not coming up. But the MPs are passing the money.
Exactly.
They tell you we have the numbers. So whether the numbers are to do good things or bad things, they have the numbers. That is how far they have bastardized the parliament. Parliament is no longer the parliament of the people. And I can tell you that when some of us say that we are under a fully blown dictatorship that still pretends to be a democracy, people think we are just exaggerating things. What else do we call it? The people are saying, please, we want our coffee to be managed under UCDA, because by the time you created UCDA, you had seen that the ministry was not handling. See, ask yourself, there are so many investors who are into coffee.
Yes, please.
They have put up their own factories, but there is one in Ntungamo where he has put 72 billion shillings.
Yes, and most of the processing is done there.
And now they are saying all the Ugandan coffee, I saw the excited chairman saying all the Ugandan coffee will be bought here. So if it
it's
is
already being processed,
if it
from
is
there.
being processed from Ntungamo, why are you not allowing the people of Rwenzori to process theirs from wherever they want, guided by UCDA? Does he want to tell us that it's the Ministry of Agriculture that is doing that project?
So also wonder, why would you even locate it in Ntungamo if you're going to export through Kenya? I thought it would be better around the eastern region.
Those are the other, those now can be questions for another day. And
us your
it tells
parting
you
shots.
the selfish nature of the man that we are talking about. He doesn't care about the ordinary citizen. He doesn't care whether you go hungry, whether you are poor, whether you are in poverty. As long as for him he's okay, he doesn't care. And I still wonder, that's why at some point, he said he's not anybody's worker.
Servant.
For him, he doesn't serve anyone. He works for his family, he works for his children and his grandchildren.